Welcome to the tutorial on organizational behavior. This is the introductory chapter. In this chapter, we are going to learn about the introductory issues of organizational behavior. As a manager, if you want to be a successful person to achieve the goal of the organization, you must have some skills. Out of those skills, interpersonal skills is very important. To achieve the objectives of the organization, you have to have leadership skills as well as communication skills, along with the technical and quantitative skills. That's why understanding the organizational behavior is very crucial to be an effective manager for achieving the target or goals of the organization. If you have a interpersonal skills as a manager, then you can ensure lower turnover of the quality employees. You can ensure the higher quality applications for recruitment, and you can ensure better financial performance. That means if you can understand the organizational behavior of the group of people or individual people, then you can manage them or control them successfully. And to do that, you should have leadership skills as well as communication skills, which are known as interpersonal skills. And applying the interpersonal skills, you can ensure lower turnover, higher quality applications for recruitment, and better financial performance. What is the responsibility of a manager? What are the functions, roles, and skills of the managers that are essential to achieve the goals of the organization? First of all, we need to know who is the manager. Manager is a person or individual who achieves the goals of the organization, and to achieve the goals, he done the things by the other people. That means managers get things done through the other people, and for that purpose, the manager should make decisions, allocate the resources, and direct the activities of others to achieve the goals of the organization. That means there are three types of activities of the managers. They should make decisions, they should allocate the resources, and they should direct the activities of others. That means they should provide the instructions, they should motivate the employees, they should instruct the employees to perform their activities to achieve the goals of the organization. Generally, the managers work in the organization. And what is organization? Organization is a social unit where there are group of people, there may be two or more people, and the organization functions on a relatively continuous basis to achieve the common goal or a set of goals. There are four types of main functions of a managers. The first function is planning for the organization. Planning is the essential issue that should be done at the starting of the period. Then, based on the planning, you have to organize the issues that should be operated to achieve the goal of the organization. And as a manager, you should be a leader to lead the employees, to motivate the employees, to control the employees, to influence the employees. And during the leading, you have to control the activities so that the employees are working to achieve the goals of the organization. According to the Mintzberg, there are 10 types of roles that should be performed by the manager, and these 10 types of roles are categorized into three groups. One is interpersonal, and the second one is informational, and the third one is decisional. That means the roles of the managers are categorized into 3 groups. But in total, there are 10 managerial roles. In the perspective of interpersonal roles, the manager should act as a figurehead, as a leader, as a liaison officer. As a figurehead, the manager is the head of the organization. As a head of the organization, the manager should perform a number of routine duties to ensure that the organization are following the legal requirements, as well as the organization is performing the social duty or social responsibility. As a figurehead, the manager should ensure that the company is complying with the legal and social responsibility. And as a leader, the manager should perform the required responsibilities to motivate the employees, to direct the employees, to provide the required direction to the employees. And as a liaison officer, the manager should maintain a network of outside contacts who provide favors and information. So out of 10 roles, we can see these are the 3 roles. The manager should perform as a figurehead, as a leader, and as a liaison officer. In the perspective of informational aspect, the manager have to perform 3 roles. He should be a monitor, he should be a disseminator, and he should be a spokesperson. As a monitor, the manager should receive a wide variety of information about the internal and external environment. He should observe the strength, weakness, opportunities, and threat that are coming from the environment. There are 2 types of environment: internal environment and external environment. As a monitor, the manager should receive or collect the information from the internal and external environment. And after collecting the information, the manager should disseminate. That means he is the disseminator of the collected information. As a disseminator, the manager should transmit or transfer or distribute the information that are collected from the surrounding environment, and those information should be transferred to the employees so that the employees can work or can perform their responsibility to achieve the target or goals of the organization. And as a spokesperson, the manager should transmit the information to the outsiders on organization plans, policies, and actions. And he should inform the results. That means the manager should serve as an expert on organization's industry. That means in the perspective of information, the manager should perform 3 roles. He should be a monitor, he should be a disseminator, and he should be the spokesperson of the organization. And in the perspective of decisional aspect, the manager should perform 4 types of activities. He should be the entrepreneur, he should be the disturbance handler, and he should be the resource allocator, and ultimately he should be the negotiator. As an entrepreneur, should search the opportunities. Whenever he or she finds the opportunities, he should take the initiatives to start a project, and the purpose of the project should be to change the society or to change the standard of living of the people. And as a manager, you should be able to handle the disturbance, because in an organization there are diversified people. They have different interests. Whenever there is a different interest, there will be a conflict of interest. That's why as a disturbance handler, the manager should be responsible for taking corrective actions whenever there is a disturbance or unexpected conflict arising from the diversified people who are working in the organization. And as a resource allocator, the manager should make or approve significant organizational decisions for allocating the resources to the important projects, innovative projects. And as a negotiator, the manager should be responsible for representing the organization at major negotiations. As a manager, you have to be a good negotiator to convince the surrounding authorities. In short, we can see there are 10 roles of managers: figurehead, leader, liaison officer, monitor, disseminator, spokesperson, entrepreneur, disturbance handler, resource allocator, and negotiator. If you want to be a successful manager, you must have some essential skills such as technical skills, human skills, and conceptual skills. To ensure the technical skills, you must have the ability to apply the specialized knowledge or expertise. Nowadays, you have to know about the artificial intelligence, automated operation, automated production system, database management, blockchain. So these are the important technical issues that should be known to you. And as a human skills, you must have the ability to understand the behavior of the people. If you can understand the behavior of the people may be individual people or group of people. If you can understand the behavior of the people, you can motivate them for directing to achieve the goals of the organization. So, as a manager, you must have the human skills. You have to understand the behavior of the people. If you can understand the characteristics, the perception, the emotions, the feelings of the employees, then you can direct them as per the perception or requirement of the employees. And as a manager, you should have conceptual skills. It means you have the mental ability to analyze and diagnose complex situations. You have to identify whether there is any potential risk, and if you can identify the potential risk by applying your conceptual skills, you can minimize those potential risks, or you can minimize the complex situations. According to the Luthans, there are 4 types of management activities. The first one is traditional management activity, which includes the decision making, planning, and controlling. And the second one is you should be a good communicator for exchanging the routine information and processing the paperwork. And the third important activities of a manager is to manage the human resource. For managing the human resource, you have to motivate the employees, you have to ensure the discipline among the employees, you have to manage the conflict, you have to ensure good staffing, and after staffing, you have to ensure training. And the fourth type of management activity is networking. Networking means you have to have the skills of socializing, politicking, and interacting with others. If you want to be an effective manager, then out of those 4 types of management activities, you must emphasize on communication, because the effective managers spend time on communication. We can see, as per the research study, the effective managers spend time about 44% for communication. But in case of successful manager, they spend time on networking. But if you want to be an average manager, then you are focusing on all aspects equally. But to be the effective manager, focus on communication. Communicate with the surrounding people, communicate with the employees to understand the behavior of the people. The people may be the individual people or group of people. Without communication, you will not be able to understand the behavior of the people. Without understanding the behavior of the people, you will not be able to manage them. You will not be able to organize them. You will not be able to control them. And ultimately, you will fail to achieve the goals of the organization. That's why focus on communication to understand the behavior of the people. So initially, we have discussed about the basic terminologies related to organizational behavior. Now, what is the definition of organizational behavior? It is the field of study that investigates the impact that the individuals, groups, and structure have on behavior within the organization, for the purpose of applying such knowledge towards improving an organization's effectiveness. That means if you know the knowledge of organizational behavior, then you will know the impact of the behavior of the individual, behavior of the group of people, behavior of the structure, and you will be able to understand the impact of the behavior on the organization's success. Through the study of organizational behavior, you can apply the knowledge gained from the individual groups and the effect of structure on behavior. Ultimately, if you can understand the behavior of the people, then you can know the impact, then you can influence the situation to motivate them or to influence them to achieve the goals of the organization. That means you will be an effective managers if you can understand the organizational behavior. And this organizational behavior will help you to understand the impact of the behavior on the success of the organization. And for understanding the behavior of the people, you can apply two methods. One is intuition, another one is systematic study. For the purpose of applying intuition for understanding the behavior of the people, you can apply gut feelings, you can apply individual observation, you can apply common sense. But applying the intuition may have some lackings, and for that reason, you can apply systematic study. Here, study means research. You can do systematic research, empirical research, or systematic analysis. And by doing this systematic analysis, you can find out the relationships between the independent and dependent variable. And that is known as scientific evidence. I mean, the findings from the systematic study could be used as a scientific evidence. And after getting the scientific evidence, you can predict the behavior of the people. That means, for understanding the behavior of the people, you can apply intuition as well as you can apply systematic study or systematic analysis, that is known as systematic research. From the systematic study, you can find out the scientific evidence for predicting the behaviors of the people. And whenever you are applying the systematic study or systematic analysis or scientific analysis or systematic research, you are focusing on evidence-based management. This is the best method for understanding the behavior of the people. And for that purpose, in the first stage, you have to develop the research question or managerial question, or you have to develop the hypothesis. Based on the hypothesis, you have to collect the information, you have to search the available evidence. And after collecting the evidence, you have to input those evidence or collected information to a research software or analytical software to find out the scientific evidence to predict the behaviors of the people. If you can understand the behavior of the people, you can apply the relevant information to motivate them, to influence them for achieving the goals of the organization. Managers can apply three approaches for collecting or understanding behavior of the people. He or she can apply intuition, he can apply fetishism, or he can apply systematic study. So as a manager, you can apply intuition or you can apply fetishism or systematic study. But considering the surrounding perspective, the systematic study is the best method, which is known as empirical analysis or evidence-based analysis to understand the behavior of the people. This is the course organizational behavior, but the knowledges of organizational behavior comes from different disciplines. We can get clear idea about organizational behavior from the study of psychology, from the study of sociology, from the study of social psychology, and from the study of anthropology. So we can collect required information of organizational behavior if you can go through the study of psychology, sociology, social psychology, and anthropology. There are multiple behavioral disciplines to understand the behavior of the people. In the study of psychology, we focus on the individual analysis to understand the learning, motivation, personality, emotions, and perception of the individual people. And based on the psychological aspect, you can train them, you can lead them, you can ensure the job satisfaction, you can ensure the effective decision making for the individual, you can ensure the evaluation of the performance of the individual, and based on the psychological aspect, you can select the best employees. Based on the psychology, you can design the work and you can minimize the stress of the work. So the study of psychology will help you to understand the individual people. And by applying the study of social psychology, you can analyze the behavior of the group of people. If you can analyze the group of people through the study of social psychology, you can understand the behavioral change. You can apply this knowledge to change the attitude of the group of people. You can communicate with the group of people. You can process the group and you can take decisions for the group of people. So the study of social psychology will help you to understand the behavior of the group of people. And in the perspective of sociology, you can also study the people as a human being. That means the study of sociology will help you to understand the organizational system where there are group of people. And by applying this knowledge of sociology, you can ensure the group dynamics, you can ensure teamwork, you can ensure effective communication, you can effectively apply the power, you can effectively minimize the conflict, and you can effectively ensure intergroup behavior. And by applying the sociology, you can apply the formal organizational theory, you can ensure the organizational technology, you can change the culture of the organization for achieving the goals of the organization. And in the study of anthropology, we focus on the human beings and their activities. By applying the knowledge of anthropology, you can analyze the organizational system as well as the group of people. And this anthropology will help you to understand the culture of the organization, to understand the environment of the organization. You can understand the comparative values of the organization. You can understand the attitudes of the group of people or organizational system, and you can manage the cross-cultural analysis. So the study of anthropology will help you to understand the behavior of the organizational system where there are group of people. So this is the summary of the multiple disciplines that contributes to the organizational behavior. We can see psychology, social psychology, sociology, and anthropology. All the disciplines are contributing to understand the behavior of the individual, behavior of the group of people, or behavior of the organizational system to understand the organizational behavior. There are some absolutes in the organizational behavior. Whenever you are making decisions, you must always take into account the situational factors that can change the relationship between the independent and dependent variables. As for example, one message from a boss in the American culture can mean a complete different things in another culture. We can see if you show the thumbs up in America, it indicates that you are indicating complimentary sign. But this thumbs up sign would be understood as a insulting sign in the culture of Australia or Iran. That means the situation may change the behavior. That's why whenever you are understanding the behavior, you have to understand the context or the situations or contingent variables that change the situation. So there are some challenges and opportunities for organizational behavior. As a manager, whenever you are applying the knowledge of organizational behavior, you may face some challenges, and you can convert the challenges into opportunities by applying your management skills. We can see the challenges are responding to economic pressures, responding to globalization, managing workforce diversity, improving quality and productivity, improving customer service, improving people skills or human skills, stimulating innovation and change, coping with temporariness. Here, temporariness means continuously there is a change in the society, change in the technology. You have to cope with those temporariness. You have to change the technology, you have to change the style of management. Other challenges are working in networked organizations, helping employees to balance the work-life conflicts, and creating a positive work environment, and improving ethical behavior. As you can see, as a manager, you have to face the challenges. The first one is responding to economic pressures. Sometimes there may be economic recessions due to hard economic times. In that hard economic times, you have to handle difficult activities such as you may have to fire the employees, you may need to motivate the employees in that hard time, you have to mitigate the stress of the employees. So whenever you know the organizational behavior, you can focus on the stress management. You can decide on the critical issues at the time of hard economic times. That's why you have to be a good manager to face the challenges, to respond in the economic pressure. And another challenge is you have to respond to the globalization, because nowadays, due to the effect of globalization, there are diversified employees who are working in the organization. There may be foreign employees in your organization. There are diversified people who are coming from different cultures. And as a manager, you have to minimize the conflict from the people of different cultures. In the organization, there may be diversified workforce. There may be people with disability. There are different types of gender, different types of age, different types of national origin, religion, race, and domestic partners. That means to manage the workforce diversity, you have to consider the diversified people. Their behavior is crucial to achieve the target of the organization. To understand the organizational behavior, you can apply model. Model is the representation of the real scenario. The model can be based on the individual level. The model can be based on the group level. The model can be based on the organization system levels. That means whenever you are applying the systematic analysis to understand the organizational behavior, you can design a systematic model or representational model, and that model can be individual level, model can be group level, or model can be organization system levels. As already said, in the systematic analysis, to understand the behavior of the people, there are two types of variables. There are independent variables. In another side, there are dependent variables. Generally, the independent variables are indicated as X and the dependent variable are indicated as Y. Some examples of dependent variables for the systematic study or systematic analysis or scientific analysis, or doing research to understand the behavior of the people. So in case of doing research study or systematic analysis, the possible dependent variables could be the productivity, absenteeism, turnover ratio, and deviant workplace behavior. In the productivity, you can focus on the effectiveness or efficiency of the employees. In the perspective of absenteeism, you can find out the ratio of absenteeism of the employees. You can find out the turnover ratio of the employees as a dependent variable. You can find out the deviant workplace behavior due to the dissatisfaction of the employees. Whenever there are dissatisfied employees, there may be violation of company rules, and from the systematic study, you can identify the deviant workplace behavior. You can also use the organizational citizenship behavior as a dependent variable. And ultimately, you can find out the job satisfaction of the employees as a dependent variable whenever you are doing systematic study to understand the behavior of the people. And in case of independent variables, you can apply the factors from individual level, group level, and organizational level. In case of individual aspect, you can use the biographical characteristics, personality, emotions, values and attitudes, ability, perception, motivation, individual learning and individual decision making as a independent variable. In case of group characteristics, you can use the communication, group decision making, leadership, trust, group structure, conflict, power and politics, and work teams. These are the factors that can be used from the group level as a independent variable. And in case of organizational system, you can use the organizational culture, human resource policies and practices, and organizational structure and design to understand the effect from the independent variables using the characteristics from the organizational system. So this is a summary of the dependent and independent variable. In the independent variable, you can consider the characteristics of the individual people, group of people, and the organizational system. And the dependent variable can be the productivity, absenteeism, turnover ratio, deviant workplace behavior, citizenship, and satisfaction. So these are the variables that can be used as the dependent variable that are discussed in the previous slide. To manage the organization successfully as a manager, you have to understand the behavior of the people. If you can understand the behavior of the people, you can manage them successfully by motivating, by controlling them to achieve the goals of the organization. Thank you.